All right, so if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This is the Codefresh Feature Friday. Today we're working in the afternoon. I've got my Kubernetes t-shirt on, so we are ready to go. Today's topic is going to be the Codefresh CLI, which stands for Command Line Interface. This is a tool that we've released to help you work with Codefresh, both from your own personal machine and also from the pipeline. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to jump in, and you can see, let's just jump in straight to the screen share. Okay. All right, so you can see here, let me hide this for a second, the normal Codefresh interface. As always, we've got our pipelines all set up here. You can see I have a pipeline set up here called Demo Chat. I can build that, I can launch it, I can trash it, I can work with the pipelines. Really the normal stuff. You can see the normal image view that we have where I've got images and they have some metadata on them. You can see this one, I had added some metadata to say this one was used in a demo. Now, what if you wanted to work with all this stuff but not through the UI? What would you do? Well, the answer is the Codefresh CLI. Let me clear this out. And what we have here in the Codefresh CLI is a way of working with the Codefresh API from the command line. You can see that we've got a pretty decent documentation on this. It really follows the same mode of operation as what you'll see from kubectl, I don't care how you say it, where it is essentially Codefresh verb noun kind of style. So you can see here that we've got, for example, we've got the get command. So this will get you any kind of resource, and everything inside of Codefresh is essentially built to be a resource that you can use with Git. And that means that we've basically exposed the Codefresh API through this terminal, through the command line. Now, there are two interesting use cases for this. So one is I'm working with Codefresh and I want to maybe script something on my local machine, or maybe I just want to work with the terminal on my own machine. That's cool, that's easy, no problem. The other use case would be to actually use the Codefresh CLI inside of a Codefresh pipeline. Now, the nice thing about that is that allows you to access the whole Codefresh API directly from inside a pipeline, and when it's running in a pipeline, it uses the same authentication scheme that exists on that pipeline, so you don't actually have to add any extra information, you don't have to authorize it, you don't have to log it in. It's running inside the pipeline, so it comes with the pipeline permissions built in. I'm going to start off by showing some of the things you can do with the CLI on your own machine, and then we'll jump over and look how you might use it inside of a pipeline. So let's think about a couple of common use cases. One use case might be I want to search for a Docker image that I have. Now, normally inside of Codefresh, you can go to the images section and you can search for images, and you can actually connect repositories from any Docker repositories. So you can see my screen's all zoomed in here to make presenting easier. If I look at this Docker registry, you can see I've got every registry around. Of course, I have Codefresh's built-in free Docker registry here. I've got a bin tray set up. I've got Amazon ECR. I've got GCR. I even have a private registry set up. I think that this one is just I just put a fake one in here. I didn't have another one set up. And then I've got Docker Hub set up. So normally, if you wanted to look through all these different registries to find an image, you would have to do basically jumping around between tools. Now, in the UI, of course, I could search for images and they'll show up from, it doesn't matter which registry, they'll all show up in here, as long as they were built with Codefresh. However, the Codefresh CLI actually gives you a better way of accessing that. If I do a Codefresh, let's clear this out, Codefresh get images, and let's throw a less on this because I have a bunch. It'll take a second because I told it to get all my images. So let's expand this out a little bit, make it a little easier to read. And I guess we have to go a little bit smaller. It's a little over ambitious on my zooming here. So exit that. Let's do that one more time. Okay, so this will give me all my images that I have. You can see I have, I get the image ID, I get the name of the image, the tags associated with it. You can see that I've been doing a lot of stuff with demo chat. It's an image that I use for a lot of demos. And I can also search by specific criteria. So I could do like a Codefresh get images, image name, demo chat. Actually, let's do, what was the Mario one that I did? HTML5 Mario, I want to say. Do I have one of those? Maybe I don't. No, I don't have one. Let's do this. Image name, demo chat. And I believe, I could grep this if I wanted to find like all the releases that I did with it. I think I just have one in there. Oh, I need an S on here. Duh. Images and grep release. No? Fresh. Oh, get him. That's funny. All right. That's what happens when you get up in front of people and start typing. You type nonsense. Okay, so I did get images, and here we can have looks like this image here. One image that I've built with the release name on it. So that's nice, but what could I do with that? Well, let's go back to, let's look at a different image, a more recent one. And you will see, okay, here's one. Now this one, let's say I wanted to add some new labels onto this one. So let's add some different metadata to this. Annotate image, and we're gonna say, I don't know, completion on it, and we're gonna make that a 89%. So that's one of the types of values we could pass. Added successfully. Let's go look at this image, and we can see now we have a completion 89%. Let me zoom back out, fix the UI. There we go. We have that completion 89%. Let's add another one, and let's call this one. Let's make this one like a URL. This image, let's say like let's say we had like a Jira ticket link. Or a Trello board link or something like that. Jira link equals a real Jira url.com/ticket/54. Okay. So now we can use, basically for these labels, you can format percentages, Booleans, you can do links, and there's one other type of annotation you can do, but what is it? What am I thinking of? I'm sure it will come to me later. So you can also do multiple at the same time. Let's see if I can remember how you do that. I think you just pass in the multiple values. Oh, also you can write these over, right? So you can do like 50. Let's go up to 92% complete, and let's say passed, or let's say ready for production, YOLO. I believe that's how you pass two values. Let's see if we did it right. We'll reload that, and we will see that completion has now been updated to 92%. But my second label didn't come through, so I think you might need to add a second label. Let's bump that. Just like that. Just set the flag twice. Is that how you do it? Ah, there we go. Ready for production, YOLO. True, ready to go. Boom. All right, so this image is ready to rock and roll. If you haven't watched other videos, we're looking at the image view of an image that we built inside of Codefresh. We had done some quality checks on it. I can actually see the commit SHA right here, which is going to link back to the exact commit inside of GitHub. So if I click on that, it'll take me over to the commit that shows me why this image was created and what changed. It looks like I had done some sort of French demo and then completed that. So, and I got rid of it. So awesome. We can see all that information. Now this is obviously great for working with images, but what if you wanted to work with pipelines? And actually, I'm going to skip to maybe a more interesting use case really quick. For the sake of time, let's go over. I have a little playground set up. All right, now I've got a, let's say for instance that I'm building multiple Docker files for the same repository. So for instance, the example I have right here is for building all the different versions of Node. Excuse me. So let's look at that. Let's do this 2-branch. Oh no, node releases. This is one. All right. You can see I've got my fancy cat command going here, so we get nice, pretty colors. So what this will do, what we're going to do is we're going to run what's called a matrix pipeline. A matrix pipeline is a pipeline that's defined to take some variables and change its behavior based on those variables. So for example, here, I'm building an Alpine version of the Node.js Docker. I'm building the on-build version of this image, and I'm building the stretch and the slim version of this Docker node image. So normally if I wanted to build all those images, I would need to create one pipeline for each image. But presumably, there's no reason why I couldn't use the same steps to validate that image. If I'm running unit tests, if I'm doing licensing scans, any of those kinds of things, I could use a single pipeline. It's just that I need to be able to swap out the values. So a matrix pipeline allows you to define everything you want to have happen and then replace these values using a values file like this, which will run on the pipeline. So let's do let's run a pipeline. Run pipeline, and I actually just ran one. I don't want to wait. var equals node release YAML. I think that'll work. No, hang on. I had a good one here. Let me look through my examples that I prepared really quick. Trying to remember the pipeline I wanted to run. Get that matrix pipeline action. Make sure I do it right. Ah, okay. So it's not run pipeline, it's just run because it assumes that you want to work with the pipeline. Here we go. So this will say I want to run this specific pipeline. I want to use this variables file, and I want to do it off of the master branch. Now I think that's required for this particular pipeline, and I think you can make a pipeline that doesn't require that, but might save that for another day. So let's go ahead and run this. What this will do is it will take each of those values. I think we had 5. No, we had 4, and it will run workflows, pipelines for those 4 different values. And I can come back and get information about these by doing git build and then taking this value and throwing it in here. And now I can get a sense of if it's what's happening with it. So I can see it's been created, I can see its status, I can see how long it's been running, and currently it was triggered off of build, and hasn't. I don't think it's finished yet. This lets you get access to the pipelines that are running. Let's see if I can do Codefresh git Oh yeah. So here I can see all the builds that I've done, all the ones that were successful. I think, and I actually haven't played around with this part too much, you can actually run the help command on any of these different values, and it will tell you more. So get a specific build or an array of builds. So I can pass it an ID. I can put a watch on it. I can page the results, and I can filter by statuses. So let's do like get builds status. Let's do error, ones that didn't work. And let's see what that gives me. There we go, all my errors. I could also do get builds. What was the command again? It was I can search them by pipeline names. Get builds pipeline name demo chat, and they can pass by arrays. So that's pretty cool. Here are my demo chat ones. All right, that makes sense. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what all the resources are that are available. I could get compositions, environments, contexts, which relate to the context that I have on my terminal, images, builds, pipelines. Let's do Codefresh get pipelines. This should show me all the ones that I have available to run. Yeah, this is that Mario 5 HTML one I was looking for earlier. Codefresh get images, image name, this guy. There we go, I knew I had built it. Okay, now this actually brings up another interesting thing about these when you're getting images. You'll notice here that one of these has a pull URL and the other one does not. That's because this image here is a previous revision of this one. So this one has a master tag, this one does not. And it's because I built this image and then I built again, and of course I pushed over the old image with this new tag, so it won't show up with a URL to pull it unless we gave it a tag, which we could do. Annotate image. Let's make sure. I believe I can just set it as tag. Shoot, I know I can tag it. I might not remember how to do it. We could go Google it, but I don't think that would be the best use of our time today. All right, let's jump over and look at how you'd use this inside of a pipeline. So the Codefresh pipelines, and let's go over to, I was doing a cool example with JFrog the other day. This was a fun project and was a lot of fun to build, and we can add in a step here. Let's go over to, I'm going to use this Codefresh one again. Hopefully nobody's fiddled with it. Yeah, okay. So I just showed a login key, but it's fine because the environment's being trashed. So and you can see that I won't show it in this one because I'm using a secret that's been encrypted so that you can't get to my artifactory. Anyway, it's not a big deal because I trashed that environment earlier today. Okay, so anyway, here you can see I've got all my steps inside my pipeline. I could work with this from terminal if I wanted to work directly with YAML. I could just go over to my here. Oh, actually, it's right here. Nano Codefresh Helm. So this is the same thing that we were just looking at if I wanted to edit it this way, or I could just do this, and we can open up this bad boy inside of Sublime Text. Here we go. Now it looks nice. Oh wait, that's not the right one. What was I even looking at? Codefresh YAML, but it was the Helm one, right? This one. Someone's gonna make fun of me for not using the command line to open this into Sublime Text. Can't make everyone happy. Okay, so you can see I've got these different build steps. I could edit it from here and then push it and use it from there. But let me give you an example here. So one of the things that I did the other day was I built a little integration with JFrog. And by built integration, I'm using that term loosely because all I had to do was take the Docker image of for the JFrog CLI, throw it into my pipeline, and execute commands against it, and I was done. I mean, it was super easy. So this is one of the critical things about the Codefresh pipeline that you have to understand. Every step in a Codefresh pipeline runs in its own container, which means you can specify the image that you want to run there and pull in the tools that you want to run. So what does that tell us? Well, if I wanted to work with the Codefresh CLI inside of a pipeline, could just add a step right here. And actually, let's add it earlier on. Let's add it earlier on because otherwise we'll have to wait 4 minutes for this thing to finish. So let's run the unit tests. And before we push it to Artifactory, we want to run some kind of Codefresh command. So Codefresh help. That's what I'll do. And I'm going to set the image here. Now, all of the information about this that I'm showing you is available on our blog and in our documentation. And I didn't even talk about how to install the Codefresh CLI. Use Homebrew. Or don't use Homebrew, use npm install -g Codefresh and you're done. So very easy to do that. I want to show, oh yeah, I was wondering what the name of the image was. There it is. Oh, by the way, in case you're watching this video in the future and things have changed, let's see what the version is that I'm currently running of the Codefresh CLI. How do I get the version number? Oh yeah, it's just version, okay. Version. When I made this video, it was on 0.76. So if you're on some, you in future land, if you're watching this and you're on another version, of course you'll maybe see some differences. Anyway, I'm gonna pull in the latest CLI here, and we're gonna execute some commands here. And actually, let's, I might be a few releases behind, actually. So let's find out if I am behind. Let's run Codefresh help. And let's make sure our indentation is correct. There we go. We'll execute a Codefresh help. Oh no, we want to do a Codefresh version so we can see what version is currently running. I probably am out of date. So I'm going to save that. And why don't we trigger, let's just hit build on this. And we can watch what happens. Now, something you could do, and this I probably won't demo because I don't have a great demo setup for it, but let's imagine, for instance, that you were building lots of Docker images, like with our matrix pipeline that we had talked about. You can actually issue a wait command. So you can say, I want you to run these 5 pipelines in parallel using these new values that I've set. And once that's completed, then I want you to move on and do something else. So that's a cool command that I'll show you. It's going to build this Docker image. While this is building, let's clear here. And I'll show you, oops, not that. Copy, there we go. So this is how you would use the wait command. You do Codefresh wait, and I'm going to tell it that I want to wait for status success, and you would then pass in either an array or a single ID for what you want to wait, what builds you're waiting for to be completed. So I guess actually this would be a good example. Codefresh git builds, and I just want to see what's currently running. Oh, actually, let's not do that. Okay, so let's see. I'm building my Docker image. This will take a minute. Cloning my repo. Now, the nice thing about that is if you use the wait command, you can actually then come back in the next step in the pipeline and then complete other tasks. So if you were building 5 different images and pushing them all to Artifactory, you could wait until that was complete until to then move on to the next step where maybe you deploy those different images, or maybe you run some kind of scanning, or maybe you spin up a Helm chart with those images and test them together. That could be another thing that you might do. So the nice thing about if you're working with Helm, you've got your application defined with lots of different microservices. You can basically say, I want to build all these images at once using maybe a matrix pipeline. Maybe they have some of their own tests, whatever. I can pull in multiple pipelines, and once those are all complete, then we can move on and do the next thing, the next step, which would be to deploy them into some cluster somewhere. Which reminds me, you can actually do, I believe, Fresh Help. What do we have in terms of production stuff? No. All right, let's not go there. We do have some tooling here for working with Helm, so you can install charts and test releases, which is actually kind of convenient. This is officially my slowest build. What's going on with this guy? Oh, yeah, okay, that's fine. We're gonna wait for it. So I think we were just gonna show what would happen if we pulled in the Codefresh CLI, and I picked a build that takes a little long, and I probably should have for doing a live stream demo. But we'll wait just a second. I'm sure this will complete here. We'll be able to see it happen. Let's go look at our builds. Building. This will actually switch over when it gets to its next step. We could watch it. While we're waiting for that, let's go back over and let's see. You can delete stuff. You can manage your authentication contexts. Just like you would do using these different, account switching that I can do here. Okay, so Codefresh help. All right, so this is going to run my Codefresh help command. It already ran, makes sense, it wouldn't take very long. All it did is execute that command, and here's the output, 083. So you can see that the version that I'm demoing is out of date, so we should update it. So I got to do an npm Well, I don't know that anybody wants to hang out and watch me update my npm package. But I think that actually concludes this demo. Looks like my build failed later on, which is okay. That's not the step we were modifying. So, and we got our other steps going. So that's the Codefresh CLI. Lots of opportunities, lots of cool things you can do. Installation is pretty straightforward and easy. Let me show you really quick. We have this great blog post. I say great because I wrote it about the Codefresh CLI and how you use it. It's called Introducing the Codefresh CLI. I'll link to it in the description. I think it is linked to in the description. And you can also see that we've got all the instructions for how to install it, how you authenticate, create an API key. I'll just show you really quick. If you need to create an API key, this link will actually take you directly to where your tokens are. Here they are. That's my badge token. I don't care if you have that. That's okay if that's public. There we go. All right, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this Feature Friday. That is the Codefresh CLI in a nutshell. Oh boy, I've got the latest version now. You can use it again both on your local machine and in the Codefresh pipeline. Ooh, looks like we've added a too big logo. I think we'll take that out. But you know how it would look great is if we ran that bad boy through lolcat. Beautiful. Oh, it's the little things in life. Well, that concludes Feature Friday. Thank you very much. Again, I was your host, Dan Garfield. Loved the opportunity to show you a little bit about the Codefresh CLI. Hopefully you'll download it, try it. Hit us up on Twitter. Of course, at Codefresh on Twitter. I am at Today Was Awesome. Feel free to hit us up on social media. Leave some comments. Share with your friends. And as always, have a good weekend. That's the sign to cut.